What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Rich and I cover games here on the channel. In this video, we're taking a look at Once Human and the patch notes they just dropped is going to be taking place August 15th. Now, it says Once Human will undergo server maintenance on August 15th at 4 a.m. UTC. This is going to be 12 a.m. midnight tonight on the 14th, going to the 15th, or 3 o'clock in the morning on the 15th, 3 a.m. if you're in Pacific time, and it says, as this update is fairly large, the maintenance is expected to last for 5 hours. Please plan your game time accordingly, and thank you for your understanding and support. We have been listening to and addressing feedback and suggestions from our community since Once Human's global release. This maintenance will include the following content. First parts, new animal ranching feature. That itself is huge. A brand new animal ranching feature is now available. Capture and raise animals and build the post-apocalyptic ranch of your dreams. Most animals encountered in the open world, including deer, wolves, sheep, wild boars, bears, rabbits, and crocodiles, can be captured and brought back to your territory to be raised. Even more animals will be made available in the future. 2. Each animal has different habitats and characteristics. You must build special housing for each type of animal and provide the appropriate food. Once an animal is tame enough, you will be able to collect skins or meat from them. Some animals are aggressive by nature and can even help you defend your territory against deviant invasions. This is a pretty huge addition to the game. One of the things I always talk about is like how much time they want you to spend in Once Human, and adding this new animal ranching feature definitely adds to that time. It says an upcoming September update will even allow you to breed animals to obtain rare and unique critters. So you can have a crocodile bear, maybe? I don't know what they mean by breed. It doesn't say crossbreed, but who knows in this world. A revamped fishing system. Since launch, we've received a lot of valuable feedback concerning the fishing minigame. Players have reported being unable to catch fish or confusion regarding the fishing controls. We understand where you're coming from, so we've revamped some aspects of the fishing system. The waiting time has been reduced, and we've increased the number of fish each fish tank can hold. We've also added lots of rare new fish. Now, the fishing part of this game, the controls were really bad, and I was really wondering how can we have such crazy fishing controls when fishing games exist? Just take one of the other fishing game controls. So it says the new fishing minigame is a battle between your stamina and the fish's energy. The tension on the fishing line is displayed in the center of the screen. You must reel in the fish as much as possible while keeping the fish line from snapping. When the fish runs out of energy, you have successfully caught it. Some small fish can now be used as bait. Large and ferocious fish prefer small fish to common bait. Optimize the fish types, reduce the waiting time required when fishing or reeling in a fish. And they've added new rare fish: North Pike, Blood Jade, Sunfish, Black Rose, Rainbow Trout, Blue Porcelain, Suckerfish, Spotted, Oscarfish, Amber, Pampano, Opal, Barracuda, Aquamarine, Koi Fish, Cloud, Guppy, Peacock, Black Bass, Pure White, Big Head Carp, Gold Knife, Sardine, Bloodmark, Tilapia, Red Giant, and Angelfish, Purple Dawn. And we have an image here of all of the fish that they have in the little bitty boards here. They've optimized fish tanks to allow them to hold multiple fish at once. Each fish tank can hold up to 8 fish, depending on the size of the fish. Now, there's also going to be a new wilderness game mode. A couple of them, I guess. It says Sproutlet Conquest exclusive to Evolution's Call. Opening time every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 4:20 p.m. Server time 4:20. Locations: a random settlement in Chalk Peak, Lone Wolf Waste, or Blackheart region. Rules: this game mode lasts for 20 minutes. Sproutle type will start spawning 5 minutes after the event starts and can be obtained through various mining methods. Metas in the event zone will be in PvP teams. During the event, the more Sproutle type you carry, the more Sproutle type you will drop when defeated. The rewards are that metas can exchange Sproutle type for Sproutlets at a 1-to-1 conversion rate with Nisa and the camp. So it's like a nice little PvP mode for people to take part in, so people on the PvP servers aren't really being left out. The Ancient Ones trial says people have reported seeing the Ancient One descend upon the highest mountain in Chalk Peak. The Ancient One's trial awaits any meta who can climb to the top of that tall mountain, board the Ancient One, and face a trial that will test your determination and courage. Metas who earn the Ancient One's recognition shall receive lots of rewards. Call upon your most trustworthy companions and attempt the Ancient One's trial together. So it's like a world raid boss. And if this is it, it's like an airplane. That's pretty interesting. Climb on top of an airplane with a mouth. I'm gonna have to see that in game. It looks crazy. Mod conversion. So it says mod conversion is unlocked when you reach level 40 in the novice season, or when you enter a non-novice season. The mod conversion function can be accessed from the upper right corner of the mod backpack. You can convert 6 unenhanced legendary mods into a legendary mod with the main attribute of their choice. Mods obtained via conversion may contain basic suffixes, non-violent, precision, or deviant energy. If 4 of the 6 mods used for the conversion contain the same suffix, the converted mod is guaranteed to have that suffix. This is assuming that the converted mod is able to have their suffix. For example, Lucky 7 cannot have the precision suffix, and Embers cannot have the Frost Vortex suffix. The converted mod's attribute levels depend on the attribute levels of the 6 mods used for the conversion. And finally, controller support. I know a lot of people have been waiting for this. Once Human now supports game controllers. Experience the game in a different way with your favorite controller. The game will automatically detect your controller button layout. Currently, Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch Pro controller layouts are available. That's all of them. If your controller is not correctly recognized by the game, please report your controller's model and your preferred button layout to us. You may choose from any of the following preset control schemes. Default, suitable for most once human players. Left-handed, suitable for left-handed players. Shooter, similar to most mainstream shooting games. Action, similar to most mainstream action games. You can choose which preset to use or customize your own control scheme at the settings screen. As controller support is a new feature, we are still optimizing some parts of the game for controllers, and controllers may not work with all features. We are working hard to make the necessary adjustments and improvements to give you the best experience possible. Controller support is currently unavailable in the following features: camera mode, actions relating to weapon or vehicle stickers, playing the piano, and other features that may be hard to use with the controller. If the game freezes or any other problem occurs while playing with the controller, please report it to us via our feedback channels. Your opinions and suggestions are important to us. We take them seriously and will address them as soon as possible. It's kind of funny and features that may be hard to use with the controller because that's depending on who's using it, right? We have also implemented other optimizations regarding keyboards, controllers, and their relevant settings as follows. They've added support for controller vibration. This can be enabled or disabled at the settings screen. They've added support for French and German keyboards. You can choose your keyboard layout at the settings screen. And they've optimized the display logic of the controls settings screen, as well as some of the descriptions to make it easier to find specific settings. Now, for cross-sharing of the paid content, cross-character sharing for paid content is now officially available when this patch drops. Paid cosmetics and premium currencies, such as Christogen, can be shared by all characters under the same account in the same region. For more information, refer to the Once Human cross-character sharing rule announcement on our official website. Now, server invitation codes are now available. If a server is full, players already on the server can find their special invitation code on their player info screen, which can be accessed via the menu. They can then share their special invitation code with their friends. Friends who receive the special invitation code can use it to enter the server even if it's already full. So that's pretty cool that they've done that. Now, I guess the server still has some wiggle room in it because there's, if you have everybody on the server giving everybody a special invitation code, then you're going to have a super full server. So hopefully, it doesn't get crazy like that, but that is an interesting angle to take, interesting thing to do is to lock the server down, and then as people don't play the game anymore, you can add more people in. It says, note, as servers have restricted capacity, there is still a limit to the number of players who can join each server using special invitation codes. Once a server reaches the limit, no more players may join it, even if they have a code. Hence, it is recommended that you invite your friends as soon as possible. Each player can invite up to 5 friends. Oh man, they might as well not even did that. They probably would have had better luck figuring out how to expand the servers or make larger servers and move people over to those servers, because if the servers are already full and each person can invite 5 people, it's about to be full. It's about to be full. Seasons. Some servers will soon be changing seasons for the first time. The following is some useful information regarding Once Human season system. So those of us that are there from the beginning are going to see a season change right off the bat. What are scenarios and seasons in Once Human? What is the game like in the long term? We want to offer a different survival experience so the game has a little something for everyone. We also want to keep updating the game so it's always exciting to play. That is why we've chosen to include multiple scenarios in the game. A scenario is the gameplay theme of a server. Once Human's global launch initially offered 2 scenarios, with the Manibus focusing on PvE and Evolution's Call centered around PvP. In September and October, we're bringing in special events featuring new scenario content. September scenario will involve faction-based PvP, while October will bring a cooperative PvE scenario with a new map and temperature-based survival mechanics. Temperature-based survival mechanics. I think they had that in one of the betas. Also in the works are a scenario with unrestricted PvP and a longer season cycle, as well as a perpetual scenario. Furthermore, we plan to release at least 4 new seasons scenarios every year. Seasons refer to individual cycles and progress within a scenario. The duration of each season varies according to the scenario. Each season will also be split into multiple phases based on the scenario's features. In-game content will gradually be unlocked, and as your server progresses through the seasons, ensuring that you always have something new to enjoy. Once all the scenario content is available and the season reaches the transitional phase, you can sign up for a new scenario while keeping your gains from the current scenario. Of course, you can also choose to continue playing and completing objectives on your current server until the transitional phase ends. Currently, the transitional phase is set to last 4 weeks. That's our vision for the game, which we hope will bring you a multifaceted and consistently engaging experience. See, I can say multifaceted, but I can't say scenario. How do I sign up for a new scenario? You can sign up for a new scenario during the final phase of the current scenario. Once you do so, you can start your new journey right away. Alternatively, you may not choose to sign up immediately and continue exploring and fighting on your current server for up to 4 more weeks, during which you can sign up for a new scenario at any time. If you haven't decided on which new scenario to join by the time your server's final phase ends, your current server will be closed and your character will be returned to Eternal Land, where you can continue playing or sign up for a new scenario at any time. And we have a little chart here. Choose a scenario, create a character, play the scenario, sign up for a new scenario in the later phase of the current season. Choose not to sign up for a new scenario, stay on the current server until the season ends. Choose not to sign up for a new scenario, enter Eternal Land, or play on a new server. So it says, when a scenario is over, does that mean I will lose my in-game progress? They say, no, it does not. We value the effort and time you put into our game. Even when a scenario ends or you exit a scenario midway, you'll be able to keep the rewards you've earned. There are a few rare exceptions, including scenario-specific items or mimetic items. However, to ensure that each scenario offers a self-sufficient experience and to allow all players to enjoy the game regardless of their progress, we have the following rules in place. So here are the rules for changing scenarios. It says you can take the following content from their associated scenario to a new scenario. Cosmetics and characters, names, body sizes, fashion, cosmetics, character customization data, emojis, actions, name cards, and titles. Materials, star crowns, crystal gems, Mitsuku Mars, stellar plunulas, sproutlets, life forge ingots, life forge relics, cosmetics tokens, colorful badges, and battle pass tokens, silver keys, battle pass experience, and more. Important in-game progress content, gear blueprints and their ratings, blueprint fragments, weapon accessories, mods including mod components, and food recipes. Furniture, formulas, and building house blueprints. So any furniture that you learn, not the ones you unlocked via the medics, house blueprints, and finished furniture items. Seasonal items, like the season honor shield patterns. Friends and groups. Task completion progress for the main story task and side story task that you've completed. You can also play the streamlined variant in a new season or go through the full version of a second season. And event progress and materials. You can check them in the event screen. All right, these are going to be the items you can transfer the following content to your depot or on the Turnland. Before the next season begins, you can bring some resources along with you on the new journey. Weapon and armor, regular resources like materials, medicine, and bullets, deviations, calibration blueprints, and energy link. They'll be retained in your Eternal Land depot. You can bring them to your other scenarios so long as you meet the requirements. And then you cannot take the following content from their associated scenario to a new scenario. That's map exploration progress, character level XP, scenario core gameplay items such as chaotic cortices and steroids, special specialization item crafted using mimetic specialization. So how do I bring items from the Eternal Land Depot into a new scenario? You have a certain number of resource points when entering a new scenario. Each item you choose to bring into the new scenario will cost a certain amount of resource points. The actual amount required varies between items and can be checked in the game. You'll obtain new resource points every time you join a new scenario. They've optimized some of the game. In the upcoming seasons, we are releasing a new scenario with higher difficulty. The scenario will include 2 combat environments, with each environment containing different cradle override combinations, super anomaly types, exclusive blueprints, and calibration blueprints. These are also 2 combined difficulty levels for the scenario, normal and hard. On hard difficulty, deviance dungeons and other challengers will be tougher, but also yield more rewards. You may choose whichever combat difficulty you prefer. While the season enters its settlement pass, your personal territory and your vehicle's mobile territory will automatically be saved as a house blueprint for your use in the new season. Now they want to plug their new shop arrivals. You got some people running around with teddy bears on, an afternoon latte fashion set, rare quality. New epic hairstyles and rare makeup will be available, and the Teddy Warrior fashion set, epic quality. You have pictures here of this, looking pretty cool. Would I get it? Nah. But for people that like that stuff, it's cool. Lightforge loot crates, I was like cool rates are now available. Open the Lightforge loot crate to receive a guaranteed cosmetic as well as a chance to obtain Lightforge collection cosmetics. You will not receive duplication Lightforge collection cosmetics. A Lightforge collection cosmetic is guaranteed within 30 openings. Duplicate cosmetics obtained will be converted into tokens that can be used to redeem Lightforge loot crate rewards or side right. Does this mean, is this Lightforge loot crates replacing the Wish machine? I wonder. The Pyroglide vehicle cosmetic, legendary quality, psychedelic skull fashion set, legendary quality, and primordial flame weapon cosmetic, epic quality, will be available on August 16th. Open the Lightforge loot crate for a chance to get these limited edition collectibles. Embrace the eternal flames and soar to freedom. With the event update, Wilderness Express starts on August 15th. Enjoy racing through the wilderness alone or as a team and earn points for mileage and collisions. Reach the required score to claim rewards, including Star Crom and the limited edition Fulfilled Wish Best Cosmetic. Secure on Site starts on August 22. During that event, defeat enemies to earn loot crates, which may contain specimen cards, collect specimen cards, and fill out the field guide to earn rewards. So now we have a Pokédex to go on with our Pokemon. And then gameplay optimization. These look like some patch notes that are fixing bugs and such. The Prime War, they reduced the cooldown timer of the Prime War to 5 minutes. Recategorize the Prime War's Gatling cannon and turrets as special bullets. They no longer use the same construction limit as the other defensive installations. Added new time limits for demolishing buildings and facilities in the Prime War. After the time is up, buildings may be demolished by other metas. Materials used will be returned. Added a new protection mechanism that prevents all holdings from being demolished by other metas once the boss part phase of the Prime War begins. And then they added an on-screen display of the durability of Starway facilities in the Prime War. For territory purification, they reduce deviant HP and the damage they deal to buildings in base defense modes such as territory purification and workshop defense. And they've optimized the territory purification tutorial task. Anti-memetics tech metas now must reach the easiest territory purification level 15. Before taking on this task, make sure to build defensive installations to protect your territory before trying territory purification for the first time. Now we have some other adjustments here where it says they slightly increase the length of high-level cargo conquest matches, and if a meta is defeated while carrying a chaotic cortex, the chaotic cortex will no longer drop as star dust flowers, but as a chaotic cortex model that can be more easily noticed by the metas. Territory construction optimizations. Construction mode now has a grid alignment system that displays a grid map on your territory. Grid alignment node allows you to place foundations and facilities on the foundations or floor more neatly than rotation angle and is fixed at 95 degrees. Will in While in grid alignment mode, foundations can be raised or lowered by half a wall's height while in grid alignment mode. I'm like falling apart here. You can disable grid alignment mode to return to default freedom construction mode. When the season enters its settlement phase, your personal territory and your vehicle's mobile territory will automatically be saved as house blueprints for use in the new season. House blueprints can now save wallpapers and building cosmetics. When previewing a house blueprint, you can now filter the visibility of facilities, wallpaper, and other content. You can now easily disconnect electrical wires and water pipes from the water pipe management screen. Your backpack will now become invisible when interacting with certain furniture items. And when crafting gear, materials for semi-finished items will now be automatically added if you have the required quantities. They did make some changes to the deviations. Starting from the second season, the opposing faction shall face a new challenge, the super anomaly. Due to perpetual exposure to aberrant forces, the enemies on the continent have gained new powers and extreme resilience. Luckily, they also come with new weakness. Exploit these vulnerabilities and defeat them to earn rewards. Location: larger strongholds in hard and pro dungeons, super anomaly types, void, phase, balance, and coherence. Countermeasures: specific types of damage or abilities obtained from the cradle, slightly increase the HP of low and mid-level deviants in the novice season. Deviants in the novice season now pose a larger threat and deal more damage. Great ones: Ravenous Hunter, Treant, Arachisium, Shadowhound, and Forsaken are no longer considered deviants and cannot be affected by damage bonuses that apply to deviants. Instead, they are only affected by effects that apply to great ones. Optimize the blue blast radius and warning indicator of Vulture Bomber. Improve the alertness and attack logic of maniacs and gnars on higher difficulties. Fix the issue where deviant corpses will still have hitboxes, causing them to obstruct the player's shots. Now, they've also enhanced combat. They say we've noticed some balance issues during the novice season, and we'll address them in the following sections. Different builds have different cradle trigger conditions, especially in PvP, so we've adjusted the difficulty of triggering certain cradles to ensure more balanced gameplay across different builds. Deadly combo: before after hitting a weak spot with the bullet effects. Bounce and shrapnel: bullet effect 20 damage plus 25% for 3 seconds. Now it's after triggering bullet effects, bounce and shrapnel: bullet from damage plus 25% for 4 seconds. Before are triggered after triggering a power surge damage plus 25% for 3 seconds. Now after defeating an enemy, power surge damage plus 25%, and shock element damage plus 18% for 15 seconds. The current PvP scenario have only overly powered damage reduction builds. The prolonged knockdown times negatively impact the PvP duration. Thus, we've adjusted the cradle's damage reduction stats accordingly. Agility: before, after rolling damage reduction plus 15% for 4 seconds. Now is weapon damage reduction plus 15% and status damage reduction plus 15% for 4 seconds. Brawl boost: damage from humans minus 20%, effective half after defeating a human player. Now is damage from 20%, effective half after damaging a human player. Old Huntsman boots are designed to simplify player controls, but these boots are too powerful in PvP, so we slightly reduce their effectiveness in PvP. Before they triggering a bullseye, the next one bullet will count as a weak spot hit even if it doesn't hit the weak spot, which gives weak spot damage plus 30% to enemies affected by the bullseye. Now, after triggering the bullseye, the next one bullet hitting a marked target will count as a weak spot hit, even if it doesn't hit the weak spot. Weak spot damage plus 30% to enemies affected by the bullseye. That sounds the same to me, just said differently. Some deviation passes are either too strong or too weak, so we've made the following adjustments. Psychic Kid: having this deviation fight along grants psi intensity. Now it's having the deviation fight along grants status damage plus 5%. For health, syncing with this deviation grants max stamina plus 5, and now it's max stamina plus 10. Run Fast had a boost in movement speed plus 3%, is what it used to be, and now it's plus 5%. Melee weapon balance adjustments: certain melee weapons like the Scourge and Long Axe are too powerful, while the fabled Masamune is criticized for its durability issues. Therefore, we've adjusted the fabled Masamune's durability threshold for affecting damage output. Also, the stun baton startup takes too long, so we've increased its base change of triggering power surge and optimized its description. Scourge attack multiplier increased based on lost HP. Now melee damage increased based on lost HP. Masamune, or Masamune, however you say it. Before crit damage increased by 3% for every 1% durability over 60 seconds. Attack reduced by 1% for every 1% durability below 40%. And the first quick strike after drawing the weapon has a 30% attack multiplier, always results in a critical hit, ineffective against metas, and can trigger only once every 15 seconds. After a quick strike hits, enhancement effects last for 5 seconds, but gradually diminish. The new one is now that crit damage increased by 3% for every 1% durability or 50%, up to a maximum of 120%. Attack reduced by 2% for every 1% durability below 20%, and the first quick strike after drawing the weapon has a 30+% attack, always resulting in a critical hit, ineffective against metas, and can trigger only once every 15 seconds. After a quick strike hits, enhancement effects last for 5 seconds but gradually diminish. The long axe, after a heavy strike, all weapons gain plus 10% crit rate and 3% melee swing speed for 10 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. Now, for every target hit by a heavy strike, all weapon gains plus 8% crit rate and 5% melee swing speed for 10 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. The stun baton before light strikes and impacts have a 33% chance to inflict power surge, and heavy strikes on targets with power surge status will inflict an additional 50% power surge damage on nearby enemies. Now, light strikes and impacts have an 80% chance to inflict power surge. Heavy strikes on targets with power surge status will inflict an additional instance of shock status damage equal to 100% of psi energy intensity on nearby enemies. There are some crossbow balance adjustments. The crit rate of the recurve crossbow is excessively high. Both back-end data and player feedback suggest that it has become almost the only choice for a secondary weapon. True. Thus, we've reduced some of its support capabilities. As a legendary weapon, the compound bow's damage output has been relatively insufficient, therefore we've enhanced its passive effects. So for the recurve crossbow, before, a hit on a weak spot will inflict the bullseye on the target, and all weapons will gain crit rate plus 30% against targets marked with the bullseye for 10 seconds. Now, a hit on the weak spot will inflict the bullseye on target, and all weapons will gain crit rate plus 15% against targets marked with the bullseye for 10 seconds. So they cut that in half. For the compound bow, before, gained a temporary boost of reload speed plus 6, crit rate plus 10% when hitting a target. Effect can stack up to 3 times. Gain max stacks when defeating an enemy. At max stacks, trigger unstable bomber when the target is hit. Now, after hitting a target, reload speed plus 6 and crit rate plus 10, stacking up to 3 times, and lasts for 6 seconds. Defeating a target instantly maxes out the stacks. At max stacks, hitting the target also triggers an enhanced unstable bomber, can deal crit hit, and cause targets to lose balance. After each shot, unstable bomber damage multiplier plus 3%, stacking up to 6 times. If you miss, the stacks are halved. Each weak spot hit has a 40% chance to automatically reload one crossbow bolt. The defeat affix of Jaws doesn't match its trigger difficulty, making Jaws slightly weaker than expected. Thus, we've adjusted its trigger method and duration. Before, blast elemental damage plus 30% for 12 seconds, and now it's going to be blast elemental damage plus 30% for 8 seconds. As a double-barrel shotgun, Doombringer is designed for close combat, but its ability to mark targets with the bullseye from afar is too prominent. We've lowered the probability of marking targets at long range while offering more rewards for close combat. Before, it was a 65% chance to trigger the bullseye on hit, and now it's a 30% chance to trigger the bullseye on hit, and an 80% chance when within 5 meters. And 9, since Great Ones are no longer deviants, we've adjusted the effect of deviation handling in Novice Season Cradle to better focus on critical targets. Before, having the deviation fight alongside grants damage plus 50% against deviants. Now, having the deviation fight alongside grants plus damage plus 50% against bosses and elites for Novice Season, and having the deviation fight alongside grants damage plus 25% against bosses and elites in Season 2. Now we have a developer note. Also, with the test dummies being deviant units, the deviation handling adjustment will reduce damage output on wooden stakes when deviations are present compared to previous versions. No other stats were adjusted. Some players also noted low damage from the Last Valor against test dummies. This is because the Last Valor belongs to the penetration type and deals reduced damage against the test dummies. We plan to have more types of test dummies for you to choose. Smoke bomb mechanism adjusted. When attacking from within the smoke bomb range, you will temporarily lose your cloak effect. Also, the visual obstruction from smoke bomb will no longer affect elite and boss monsters. Now we have a second stack. I'm going to scroll down real quick and see what else we have here. So much. All right, for battle stat bugs and fixes, there's 8 of these. They fix an issue where Squidward's weapon damage bonuses remain even after switching weapons. Fix another where Squidward didn't grant a damage boost when hitting any ally with bounce. They fixed an issue where Doyen's cloak applied double damage bonuses after its frozen effect ended. Some stats errors with purple mods, Obliterate, Super Bullet, and Soul Reap, and Blaze Blessing. Fixed an issue where the portable territory wasn't functioning properly. Stats display and activation errors in Most Wanted were fixed. And an issue where Hammerhead could damage the user when attacking the test dummies was fixed. And the incorrect duration of the tracking bullet buff got fixed. And an issue where reload speed bonuses from calibration blueprints mods set attributes cause reload speeds to exceed 100%. That got fixed. There's some new additions, introduced multiple new calibration blueprint categories, which will be available in Season 2. These include a frugal style, suits pistols and sniper rifles, allowing for ammo recovery from missed shots, obtained by disassembling dropped gear or defeating super anomalies. The Vanguard style suits SMG rifles and light machine guns, capable of stabilizing keyword effects, obtained by disassembling dropped gear or defeating super anomalies. Boost style suits, pistols, and shotguns, capable of increasing keyword trigger probability through reloading, obtained by disassembling dropped gear of defeating super anomalies. The overflow style suits pistols and light machine guns, allowing for overloading magazines based on shooting frequency, obtained by disassembling dropped gear or defeating super anomalies. The energy strike suits SMGs and rifles, allowing for ammo recovery after being hit, obtained by disassembling dropped gear or defeating super anomalies. You may also select from these when signing up for future scenarios. Added 2 mod suffixes. Resonant suffix increase sustained damage output when dealing weak spot, crit, and elemental damage, available on pants and gloves in the Prime War. And battle suffix increase weapon damage and status damage resistance in PvP, available on the tops and shoes, redeemable in the Sproutless shop and Evolution's Call. 3. Adjusted the acquisition method for keyword suffix mods. Keyword suffix mods will now be available through public crisis events, with their quality improving as the season progresses. There is a developer note. It says different scenarios provide different obtainable items due to gameplay differences, but each scenario should have its own unique drops. Thus, we provided mod suffixes tailored to the Evolution's Call and Manibus scenarios accordingly. Because of the high demand for versatile keyword suffix mods, we removed their acquisition to public crisis events, thus allowing players from all scenarios to participate and obtain these mods. They adjusted the text description for heavy explosives. Actual effect remains unchanged. Adjusted display of certain text, changing damage reduction when in deviated state to status damage reduction, and XX damage to XX status damage. They updated icons in the buff bar for melee weapons and crossbows to improve visual clarity and readability. Reduce energy link consumption during the calibration of gears at tier 1 through 4. Improve material return notification during calibration to ensure the correct display of return ratios for materials from dropped gear. And they added the tactical item High Explosive Shrapnel Grenade, the formula of which can be obtained after unlocking the Advanced Explosive Throwables Mimetic. They have some optimizations to deviations. So they have deviations, optimizations, and adjustments. Fix an issue where some deviations wouldn't attack test dummies. Optimize the animation visual effects for the Xeno Purifier action. Optimize the interaction of the Digby Boy and Logging Beaver with facilities. Added a new interaction with Rebecca. Introduced new traits for deviations in Season 2. The following deviations now have a chance to gain new traits. Extra Dimensional Cat, the Digby Boy, Grow Shroom, Fetch a Lot Bunny, Butterfly Immersory, and Festering Gel. Significantly increased the deviation resource production efficiency of H37 and added gunpowder to its obtainable item list. Deviations in the territory will now continuously produce resources at gathering platforms such as mining or logging operation platforms. Gathering progress at platform facilities is saved when deviations stop working due to a lack of deviant power. Reduced deviations PvP damage factor to prevent certain deviations from instantly killing players. For survival options, they've added an auto flash feature that activates in dark areas. However, this may cause frequent brightness changes in certain scenes. If discomfort occurs, this option can be turned off in the settings. Dish formulas gained from recipes picked up in the wilderness will now carry over across seasons, so players won't need to reobtain them to make the corresponding dishes in the new season. Duplicate recipes will be converted into the corresponding dish items. Characters under certain survival conditions that reduce movement speed, like low hydration or mild fractures, can now sprint at a reduced speed. For guidance optimizations, to make it easier for players to go about tasks, a new guide feature has been added. When players approach an objective, Matsuka will appear to guide the players. This feature can be turned off in settings by selecting weak guide mode. Improve the interaction experience for Rift Anchor related gameplay. Players can now see the status of all Rift Anchors on the world map and track their unlock progress when viewing monoliths on the world map. For map optimizations, they optimize map navigation so that players are now guided to the entrance of the monolith danger zone when tracking the monolith, rather than to the closest road or to the monolith. And they optimize the display priority of securement silo icons on the world map. Now they are displayed at the same time as the teleportation towers when zooming out, or in and out. Vehicle optimizations fixed an issue where vehicle territory facilities weren't correctly accounted for during season of settlement. They optimize the camera reset logic when reversing vehicles so it no longer triggers when the player looks toward the vehicle's rear while reversing. They optimize the camera's effects when switching seats in certain vehicles. Added the option for players to allow friends to use their vehicle and platform trailers within their territory, among other facilities. And players can now dismiss vehicles not owned by them within their territory. There's a world exploration optimization, the wheel. Optimize the convenience of neutral stronghold shops, making it easier for players to locate the merchant at tall grass. They changed the interaction key for whispers to H. Players can now customize this key in the system setting keyboard. They adjusted the display limit for whispers within a certain range. They reduced the push notification for low quality whispers. Low quality whispers, huh? Social function optimizations added an events channel joining Stronghold Conquest, the Prime War, and Public Crisis events will automatically switch it to for real-time voice chat with allies. After forming a team in game, voice chat will now automatically switch to the team channel. Added the lattice chat interface accessible by pressing enter and the microphone icon on the left side of the main screen. They added a translation feature for private chat, group chat, and the HUD chat channel. They optimized the player info editing interface for a better use interaction, and they added a sharing feature to the deviation, mimetic specialization, weapon crafting, and mod refinement interfaces, allowing players to generate posters for sharing with others or saving locally. For the boss dungeon securement silo optimizations, they slightly reduced the difficulty of the Araxium dungeon and optimized the audio effect in the empty house with the securement silo psi and reduced the empty house's stats on normal difficulty. For Eternal Land optimizations and adjustments, they fixed an issue where distant trees were not visible on Eternal Land. During season settlement, if the space-time backpack is full, any excess item will be moved to a new temporary backpack. This temporary backpack will store items for 7 days. Unclaimed items after this period will be converted into actual sand. Items sent from the space-time backpack to the season backpack will remain linked for 6 days. Added the ability to store linked items in the personal storage crate. Fixed an issue where vehicle territory facilities weren't correctly accounted for during season settlement. And they fixed an issue where distant trees were not visible on Eternal Land. They said that twice, once at the beginning and once at the end. Trade optimizations. When items are sold through the vending machine's exchange mode, the earned items will no longer be sent directly to the seller's backpack. Instead, they will be stored in the vending machine storage space. Sellers can interact with their vending machines to collect their earnings. That sucks, making me go to a vending machine. Previously, items you obtained from the vending machine will be sent directly to your backpack, which could cause you to become overburdened during exploration or combat and unable to run. This update adds storage space to the vending machine. Now, when items are sold, the earnings go into this space and players can interact with their vending machines to collect their earnings. This feature currently applies to vending machines within the territory. It will extend to vending machines on pickup trucks and heavy platform trailers in the future. Next, we have other optimizations, and after that, finally, bug optimizations. Increase the scan range of space-time with Q. Adjusted certain survival conditions that reduce movement speed, like low hydration or mild fracture, to allow characters to sprint at random reduced speed. They said this already. They didn't say the range, but they said the other part already. Bug optimizations. Fix an optimized scene issue in multiple regions and settlements in the wilderness. Fix the issue where removing cosmetics on the RV would cause the original facility model to disappear. An issue where continuous planting would result in loss of seeds and fertilizer. An error in the Cerfosaurus Rex fire breathing effect display. A material display error when constructing stone ceilings on pickup trucks. An issue where muted plates obtained through deviations could not complete season goals. Fix the floating flower bed issue in Sunbower. Fixed an issue where relocation occasionally resulted in the territory terminal being removed. An issue where players occasionally couldn't teleport within their own territory. Well, that sucks. An issue where tents in Blackfield Town were inaccessible. An error in the notification display background. An error issue where deviations were not displayed if the backpack mask wasn't open. An issue where sprinting in the air would trigger an automatic roll upon landing. An issue where the default placement direction of the American cabinet was reversed. An issue where motorcycles would scrape and lose HP easily during sharp turns. An issue where motorcycles couldn't be driven after defeating a boss. An issue where certain humanoid monsters had no animation when using grenade skill. An issue where sharing certain wall cosmetics with friends would incorrectly display a sharing limit. They fixed an issue or a sharing limit notification. They fixed an issue where constructing the advanced solar generator couldn't complete the Mayfly task. An issue where characters would occasionally pass through the RV when climbing it. An issue where characters would behave normally when spawning during cargo gameplay. An issue where the Staroids resonator was placed in invalid areas during the Stronghold conquest. They fixed an issue where monster HP became abnormal when multiple players entered a public crisis event. They fixed an issue where players in the Hive had their name cards displayed as not yet in the squad. Fixed an issue where closing the name card editing interface causes abnormal displays. Fixed an issue in displaying selectable material quantities at the workbench. Fixed an issue where there was no prompt when accepting a teleportation invitation after a public crisis event. And they fixed an issue where disassembling tungsten bullets would result in blank items. And we've done it. Subscribe for the lengthy read of the patch notes. 40 minutes. That's a long time. Thank you guys. If you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you. If not, I understand. Hopefully you've come back and gone through the patch notes again to catch up. Throw this up on your second monitor. It's all good. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.